Our number two. What about this board is lit up? People must know there's Ponting wine voucher up for grabs for Call of the Day, Wacky Team Wednesday, and it has gone wacky after 4 o'clock. Oh, what about line 4? Cannot wait to get to him. Line 4, Brian. But let's just hold on for the time being. Let's go to Scully from Gladeswood Hill. Scully, good afternoon. Having some trouble with the phones. Let's go to Frankie, Sunny Coast.
Hey, Frank. Frank. Hello, Frank. Hello. Frank, you there, bro? Oh, tourist.
Is this Natashi? Let's go to Mart. Okay, all right. All right, protest.
Is this your fault, tourist? Is this something?
Yeah, my head's not in the game.
You know what? Yeah, I know where your head is. Thinking about this wedding. How much are you going to spend on the wedding?
Well, unfortunately,
there's no cash here,
so I can't really.
I tell you, there's no cash here, but I tell you what, there is here. There's golf tips here, Brian, and there's an enemy behind the lines of Sattler and Rogers.
Oh, so listen, just peeling back the curtain.
How good is it?
We got an anonymous tip, and what it is. Should I share it?
The anonymous tip has also offered to give us a lift, Brian.
Yes.
Sattler and Rogers would claim that this person's a mate of theirs.
Yeah, just keep it all dark.
Yes.
So what we're going to do, listener, we've got someone text us through.
What was the one thing you thought I needed to buy game? Course management.
And the anonymous tipster has given us hole by hole where to hit, where to aim, where to land, what club. Oh, this is worth its weight.
It's worth 6 shots. It's worth 6 shots. You just want to find a price for Kane and Fletcher, and you just want to unload. You
got
just
to unload.
Want to unload. Let's get into some rugby league tourists, please.
It's an NRL news update. Subscribe to SEN League on YouTube and the SEN podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
You feel that? That's your off-season sorted.
Oh, my goodness!
It's football, but not as you know it. No pads, no armor, no timeouts.
This is incredible!
The very best rugby league players from around the world collide in Las Vegas.
Can you believe it?
8 teams, 4 games.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
That's one epic ticket. Get your football fix with Rugby League in Las Vegas. March 1st, Allegiant Stadium.
Alrighty, there's the voice of Rob Gronkowski. He's a Patriot tourist. Now, you're obviously a Scottish person who loves the Patriots, so didn't grow up with rugby league. What do you make of this ad?
I think what was the phrase he said at the start there? This is your off-season sorted.
Yeah.
Best way to advertise it. Because there is that little period right at the end of the Super Bowl where there's no baseball really. There's basketball. It's still there, but it's a different type of contact sport.
Yeah.
There's no That's the thing they've got to really push hard, and I think they've done it really well there with this advert. And getting Gronk, who is one of the most recognizable names in the NFL, huge.
So last year the ratings were 150,000 in the US. Not great numbers,
Right.
but it was actually on Fox Sports 1 over there. So you would presume this year we'd get more people more aware of it. Like even in Vegas, when you're driving around, people going, "We didn't know the rugby's on."
They didn't even know it was on.
No.
And whilst to your eye you're seeing all these jerseys and it's familiar to us, everyone else is just seeing this big bad city, aren't they? Really?
Well, it was only advertised on Allegiant Stadium.
Yep.
So you had to be up that end of town.
Oh, right.
So I think this year there's going to be more.
But I wonder where
marketing.
they'd push that. Like where would that ad go?
I'd say socials.
Right.
Be socials. That's the way everyone's watching it.
Socials. Okay, so they'll pull the trigger on that.
Wonder what do you reckon he got? Gronk.
Well, I don't. It depends, and if I would want him posting that,
yes,
wouldn't you?
But whether or not they got the money,
what do you reckon he gets?
I reckon $1 million.
$1 million bucks.
Yeah.
I reckon he's told to do it. He doesn't have to post anything because it's his network that he's.
Do you think Fox Sports
Fox
1?
do it, and Fox just say, "Hey, do this for us, Gronk."
You think so?
Yeah. He is. I mean, I'm not saying he has to share it to his socials, but he has to do it for nothing because he's paid by Fox.
Well, Brady works at Fox.
Yeah, but Brady's different.
Oh, why?
Because he's the GOAT.
Oh, he did all the hard work. The Gronk, all Brady had to do was throw it. Throw that. Sorry, Brooks.
I was just saying that they're going to air that on the Fox Sports networks.
Oh, okay.
So there'll be a 30-second ad that they'll put, hopefully during NFL time, using someone like Gronk. So
Massive.
Big promotion there.
Massive. And I wonder if they've got a separate ad to actually promote the coverage of the game. So they're selling the ticket there, one ticket. Just on that, right? Do you like the 4 games?
Yes,
Yes.
I do.
So we've got the Gillaroos taking on. I would have preferred to see an NRLW match.
Really?
Yeah, like the grand final replay or something. I just think Australia's going to put 60 on the English side. Did we really need to see that?
Oh, the English girls aren't great.
No.
Oh, okay.
We'll put 60 or 80 on them. I think, honestly, it would have been... And you know what? That is a huge point of difference. The Americans seeing women at the top flight go toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
A grand final rematch of the NRLW teams, for me, would be far better than...
I don't think
Or an Origin.
I don't think all games will be televised on Fox Sports.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I'm even just talking about for the
crowd.
the locals who get dragged along. Like, who wants to see...
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. I think kick-off the first game's at 11 a.m.
Is that the Pompey game?
It's a girls' game.
Is that Warrington? Is the first one the girls, is it?
Pretty sure. Second one is Warrington and...
St Helens? Or Wigan?
Warrington and Wigan.
Yeah.
And then the 2 NRL games.
Sammy Burgess on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll catch up. He's the Warrington Wolves coach these days. Sammy Burgess on the show tomorrow. Righto, let's move into this. It's not new news, but new news. Reece Robson signing for the next 4 years at the Roosters, Brian. I haven't got your comments on that.
No. Well, we thought they were going to land a big fish. Probably not the biggest fish going out there at the moment.
What does that fish cost?
He's an Origin player. The fish is, I'm going to say, $650 to $7.
That's good.
Yeah. You feel that?
Well, I think it's good. I think if you got him for $650, I think it's an unbelievable buy.
4-year deal. I think that's why. I'd imagine it would increase, but he's very, very similar to a Jake Friend player.
Yes.
So I feel that Robbo has been looking back on what they've missed. Jake Friend, I think the Roosters, I suppose they didn't realise all that work that Friendy was doing around the ruck.
Yep.
And, I mean, when I was playing, we had a Fitzy or a Rico doing that. You need someone like that who doesn't get the plaudits, but your teammates realise, like, he's going to make 50 tackles.
Yes. And even when you guys were having fun, Benetti was sort of...
Another one, Simon Benetti. So I feel that maybe Robbo in the off-season has gone away with his coaching staff and said, what are we doing? We're getting beaten through the middle of the ruck a lot. And that's what teams were targeting the Chook. So maybe Reece, well, he definitely will. Not maybe. No. He'll definitely stiffen up the middle.
Okay, and I guess you could. I was going to say, have they spent enough money on their spine? Anyway, big day for the Roosters.
Well, they've got Sammy Walker on $1 million.
Yeah, and then they've got Teddy at the back.
They've got Teddy on $1 million.
Yeah.
He's extended.
Yeah, they have. Big day for Papua New Guinea footy tomorrow. Adrian Prezenko through the Sydney Morning Herald says Papua New Guinea will officially be granted a National Rugby League licence at an announcement in Sydney on Thursday. The Australian government has committed $600 million over 10 years towards the expansion venture. The PNG government is expected to commit 400 million kina. I didn't know that was their currency.
Yeah.
The kina, which is approximately 154 million.
Oh.
PNG will be in for 2028. It's unclear whether PNG will be the NRL's 18th or 19th team, given there is a desire to add another side as early as 2027. The NRL remains in negotiations for a Perth-based franchise. As a sweetener to sign with PNG, players and staff will be granted tax-free status. Oh. That will allow marquee signing on a $1.2 million deal to save up to $550,000 per annum.
That's attractive.
You know what?
That
when you think about
attractive.
it, right? How many other countries would just allow it for a sport to go, nah, you're tax-free, mate.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much they love their rugby league.
Do you feel that there'll be animosity at? I'm thinking about the St George fans, tax dodgers, all that sort of all the signs.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll attack them?
Oh,
the artful dodgers.
Well, I was saying yesterday to Kempy, it won't be a problem until they're winning.
Correct.
Until they get repeat, victories and being top dogs. Yeah. No one will give a rat's.
And the fact, I don't know how families are going to live in Port Moresby. Because I've been there a few times now, and always security just said, do not go outside. When Heidi and I went and did Kokoda, for example, it wasn't advertised, But we get to the airport, we were like the Beatles.
Yeah, I know.
It was unbelievable. There would have been 1,000 people there.
Wow.
And we just
Is it unnerving?
well, we had security.
Yeah.
We had a lot of security, so that was.
But you need
But
it?
we didn't expect it.
No. But you need the security?
Oh yeah, and these players they'll be. Imagine if a Reece Walsh goes to PNG, he couldn't live there.
So, but you have to live there. Is that what you think?
Well, there's talk that they might live in Cairns and just fly in, fly out.
What would that sojourn be, you reckon?
2 maybe.
It's only a couple of hours.
I couldn't tell you. Unless they do build this, they're saying there's going to build a compound, but that's no way to live, is it?
No.
Bring up young kids.
But also, too, like in all reality, like a compound, you know that's going to lead to trouble.
Yes.
Trouble between teammates, trouble between spouses, hopefully not trouble between, but
Yeah.
that screams of that, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know the logistics of it. And it's not that far away. It's 2028. You've got to start building now.
But you couldn't live in Cairns and get your tax-free status, could you?
Don't know. Peter Valeni's, he can do whatever he wants.
Okay.
Here we go. What about this? Sorry, Brooksy. Sorry.
There's a really good opinion piece on the Sydney Morning Herald. The gentleman's name's Oliver Nobatow, and he has a bit of experience in PNG in the Pacific. And it was talking about some of the things with regards to the bid and the expansion into PNG. Like the government's thinking that there's going to be a lure of tourism, like for fans to go to these games and to come to PNG. And I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure about that. Like, in terms of it being a destination for rugby league fans to be like, oh, that's my bucket list.
Like a Magic Round.
Magic Round, Vegas, PNG. They're the 3 things you got to do. I don't know if it's up there with the other 2. That was interesting. There is going to be a legit compound built. Schools, housing. Like, they're going to live in like a Truman Show sort of thing. So for me, when I see that, I'm like, marquees aren't going to spend more than 2 years there.
No.
Like, you're not going to get people from outside PNG wanting to live in a bubble for 4 or 5 years.
But my only thing is, and this is devil's advocate, because you see it in the community, right? People fall out with one another over time. If you've got this tight-knit community living in and out of each other's pockets, there will over time be friction between two parties.
Of course, that's human nature.
But it's magnified being in that environment, isn't it?
And then you have the other issue of hopefully they could have a squad of 30 and half of those would be locals.
That's what they've got to have.
They've got to have
right?
a lot of locals.
Yes.
Which wouldn't live in you wouldn't think they live in the compound. So are we going to have is there going to be friction between those two, parties and stuff like that? But I can only go off my experience of how dangerous we were told. I didn't see anything bad.
No.
But there's barbed wire around everywhere.
Okay.
So they said to us, if you're going to leave, get in a car. Don't walk.
Okay, let me even think further down the track. Now, what's the main objective for us making this happen?
Well, politically?
Yeah.
Well, it's because of the China.
Okay.
China were in talks to get to Papua New Guinea.
Okay, so hopefully I'm terribly wrong. But say that it's not a huge success for whatever reason. And I'm not trying to dampen it, right? Because tomorrow they're doing the announcement. But I'm just trying to think aloud about things. Say, for example, that it was the South Queensland Crushers or it was a Perth Reds. How does that then? What does that mean for our country then if we don't get it right?
What do you mean?
If it falls...
Well, if this country so badly wants rugby league, and if we don't execute this properly, does that then become...
Well, I don't think they'll collapse. The only reason those other teams collapsed was because of money. They had no money. But look at they're getting $600 million for the next 10 years of the government. The PNG government are kicking in. They'll be flush. They'll have more money.
I don't think the money's an issue at all. But it's still got to be a success.
Well, it's not going to be. I can't see them being competitive. I mean, they'll be competitive, but I can't see them playing finals football in, say, within the next 5 years when they get into the do you agree?
I don't know.
Well, it depends on the players. I don't know. That's one.
I think a tough thing too is like we've seen it in the AFL where the AFL is putting millions and millions of dollars through Greater Western Sydney and the Gold Coast teams to make them viable, to make them somewhat successful. Now, this is the first time we're really seeing that we're going into that AFL realm where we're putting a team in Port Moresby because of, the game's big there, but there's the pie chart, there's a bit of politicalness involved in this franchise but existing.
Massive.
So you've got these clubs in the NRL that are probably struggling to get in the green and seeing all this money, like what you're saying, Joel, let's say after 5 years, the local talent isn't fueling this team and there's the need for marquees. PNG are putting in laws to waive income tax for the players that are going to be out from outside. So there's a lot of pressure internally for PNG as well. I think this is a ballsy move.
It's a ballsy
and
move.
It's going to be interesting to see how in 5, 10, 20 years' time, how this franchise works. It could be in Cairns in 15 years. But it's like, at least they're giving it a shot. But I think
to your point of these Sydney clubs who may be struggling, I feel that the money that's coming, there's going to be money coming to the NRL.
It has to.
There's money. Otherwise, why would Peter V'landys? So I don't know the amount, but just say there's 600 million over the next 10 years.
Okay.
I would presume there might be 200 coming to the NRL, which allows
Goes to the rest of the clubs.
Goes to the rest of the clubs. So maybe the other clubs are thinking, well, okay, we'll sign off on the 18th team, but this 600 million that's coming, we want a piece of that.
Yeah, that's probably exactly the case.